Life is always full of surprises. It was certainly a surprise when Lucas invited me to Union City to hear a reading by Virginia Woolf. Always the perfect gentleman, he drove us through the beautiful countryside. We went to the theater and had a lovely meal. Talk about a whirlwind weekend. I could say that this trip had no impact on Nathan, but I don't think that's true. Hi. He's good at hiding his feelings, but I sense a shift in him. Any single woman would be lucky to have either man as a potential suitor, and I find myself genuinely torn. Still, I don't want to hurt one or the other. For now, all I can do is be honest with both of them.
So many details to cover on what she just said in that small clip of her writing in her journal. First things first that she mentioned is that life is always full of surprises. Word surprises just keep coming up. And then she mentioned about Lucas, how he is the perfect gentleman. And I truly believe that what the writers envisioned in Lucas' character, perfect gentleman, you cannot add anything to that, you cannot subtract anything from that. It's what the writers envisioned Lucas to be. Nathan's confidence start to go down a little bit. Elizabeth trying to get some answer, trying to have the chance to ask Nathan how he is and where he is at. In regard to the friendship, if, Nathan willing to talk to Elizabeth like a normal adult, but at this point, it seemed that she's still closed off from Elizabeth. I think Nathan needs to learn to just focus on himself and Allie, and if you want to, focus on his friendship with Elizabeth. Like, don't let Lucas get in the way of your friendship with Elizabeth. And he already had that mentality of competition, if you remember. Like, he is not shy from competition. So if you still have that mindset before Lucas took Elizabeth out of town, that will destroy his mind even furthermore. Like, oh man, I'm losing. Like, Lucas is winning. That's not a good mindset to have when you're fighting for the same woman. So Nathan, we'll see if Nathan comes around this episode. Elizabeth, again, she is giving fair chances to both men, waiting for Nathan to tell her what's on his mind. And then she mentioned about how she doesn't want to break any of their hearts, but she's willing to be honest. Well, we'll see, Elizabeth. We'll see if you're going to be honest, open-minded, and fair to both men going forward. I'm not trying to interrogate her, but what she said at the end of this journal entry, we'll see if she keeps that same momentum going forward, and we'll see if there's some red flag that she gives to one of these guys or both men, and whether there is any more further red flag coming from Lucas and Nathan.
Nathan, I need you to sign my permission slip. We're going on a field trip.
Oh, what kind of field trip?
Into the woods to learn about the various plants and trees in the region.
And hopefully see some wild animals.
How far are you going?
Just up to Simon's Pass. We'll get an early start and be back before sunset.
That sounds like fun. Ready to go?
Bye, Mrs. Thornton.
Bye.
Hi.
Nathan is still close off to Elizabeth. You can totally see the difference. Like, Nathan doesn't even wait for Elizabeth to come out of the store. He was busy talking to the other parents, and Allie called him out, and Elizabeth saw this as an opportunity to talk to Nathan through Allie and Opal, and Nathan still doesn't talk to Elizabeth about their personal friendship. Elizabeth, you can see she's struggling to get Nathan to talk to her about their relationship, private relationship, and about Lucas and how Nathan feels right now about Lucas and what happened that weekend.
Thank you for a lovely weekend.
These look delicious. but not necessary.
Lucas, you paid for the tickets, the dinner, and the hotel rooms. The very least I can do is bake you some cookies.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I actually have something for you, too.
Lucas. You got Virginia Woolf's autograph? Is this what took you so long when you were getting snacks at the reading?
Guilty. I actually wanted to give it to you yesterday, but I thought it should be bound in something more special. Thus, the leather cover.
It's very beautiful. Thank you. Oh, I guess I should be going. I have a busy day tomorrow.
School?
Actually, we're taking a field trip into the woods.
Have a wonderful time.
Thank you. And thank you.
So thoughtful of Elizabeth to give a thank you gift to Lucas. She truly appreciates Lucas as a friend and what he did for her for that weekend. Again, Lucas is a perfect gentleman. He paid for the tickets to the reading, the dinner, the hotel room, and now that lovely, lovely signed book by Virginia Woolf. That's just like icing on the cake. Again, he didn't have to do that, but that was very thoughtful and generous of Lucas.
Oh, that's a good boy. Thank you for the kisses. Yes, thank you. Oh, nice duck.
Oh,
Good morning.
hi.
After you left, I remembered that I have a pair of binoculars. And I thought that you might like to take them with you on your outing.
Lucas. Thank you. The children will love these. Wow, you can really see so far. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Elizabeth doesn't know what to do with Nathan. She doesn't want to make it more awkward, but she kind of did because Nathan caught her looking at him, and you can see Nathan watching them. Like he sees Elizabeth walking away from Lucas, and she observed Lucas a little bit more further, and you can see that Nathan is still struggling and that he is still upset about the fact that Lucas had the opportunity to take Elizabeth out of town for that weekend. On the other side, with Lucas, everything going great. And also, I want to mention Lucas helped Elizabeth build that library. The library wasn't just for the town, but I truly believe that part of it is that Elizabeth wanted her school children to have the opportunity to read more. It's so nice that Lucas supported Elizabeth not only in the library, but in the perspective of the library helping the children to read more. And I think it's really nice to see Lucas support Elizabeth as a teacher in that moment. And now here in the scene, Lucas thought about the field trip that Elizabeth going on with her kids just because she mentioned it to him, and he thought of the binoculars. I guess what I'm trying to say is that it would be very nice to see Lucas support Elizabeth more as a teacher down the road if they do end up together. But it's just these two moments. It was nice foreshadow of the potential future that Lucas and Elizabeth may have together. Elizabeth supporting Lucas in his business and the saloon, and in return, Lucas supporting Elizabeth with her teaching occupation. I think that would be a nice balance, a nice relationship to witness in the world of Hope Valley.
Elizabeth! Is everyone all right?
No, Emily ran off for something. I have to go back for her.
No, you stay with the kids in the cabin. I'll get Emily.
She probably went to the clearing for her basket. She found an arrowhead.
Okay, here. Take Newton. This wind will spook him.
the camera panned on Nathan on the horse, and then the camera moved toward Elizabeth's face, and that first second of her facial expression was shocked. She was shocked to see Nathan, but at the same time, I truly believe that she was relieved to see Nathan because she needed help, and she was the only adult before Nathan came along. And Nathan's focus in the scene was his, like, regardless of what's going on personally with Elizabeth, Nathan's first priority is to make sure that his was safe, as well as Elizabeth, and of course going after Emily. At the end of this scene, Elizabeth's facial expression changed again, and she looked extremely worried for Nathan and of course Emily, but it's just that the reality of Nathan, like Nathan is surmounting.
The path that you took up here is pretty much impassable, but I found another way home.
Thank you. And thank you for earlier.
You're not hurt or anything, are you?
No, I'm fine. You?
I'm fine.
What's wrong?
There's nothing.
If there's something on your mind, please just say it.
Okay, how about this? How about today you put both our lives in danger? How about it wasn't smart for you to go out after Emily under those conditions?
I take it back. Whatever's on your mind, just keep it to yourself.
Elizabeth, what were you thinking?
I was thinking that I heard Emily and I wasn't just going to leave her out there.
I told you I would get her.
But you didn't. I did.
With my help.
If I hadn't have gotten to her, she might have died.
You both could have died.
What is this really about?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna put this as simple as I can, okay? My focus is on two things. Raising Allie and keeping this town safe. And today, both of those were put into jeopardy. So please, in the future, just let me do my job.
Truly believe this is like one of those moments where Nathan almost spilled the secret. When he said about you both could have died, like that word died, it's like a very dangerous word to Nathan, especially in regard to Elizabeth. Elizabeth's life being in danger and the potential of her dying in the storm. And when I rewatched this scene, I was just like, wait, is this like where you were thinking about your secret that you've been hiding from Elizabeth? You feel guilty. If you didn't watch season 8, you'd probably be thinking, okay, why is he freaking out, you know? Why is he freaking out about her dying and blaming her about how she's handled the situation, like freaking out? And you just like, this is like out of the blue, right? But if you watch season 8, it's kind of like matches it. I don't know if you see it in the scene, let me know. But I just like had the revelation, like, oh my gosh. But yeah, of course Nathan avoided a conversation about Lucas. He basically hiding that too.
Listen,
Constable Grant, have you heard?
Heard what?
Bill's got a search party out looking for Lee and Jesse. They're missing. Missing? In the woods. Well, do Rosemary and Clara know? I told them.
What area is Bill looking at?
The men at Lee's Mill will know.
I have to go.
I know.
And now with Jesse and Lee and Nathan going off again, Elizabeth knows that feeling, like, you know, hopefully Nathan is okay, like she's still here for him as a friend. He was about to apologize. He got interrupted by Florence again. Jeez. And it's like always interruption when they about to have a really good conversation. And yeah, so Nathan lost that chance of making it right with Elizabeth. We'll see if that happened next episode. But yeah, it's just like Elizabeth was so down. She was just like, you know, she really wanted Nathan to really tell her honestly everything that he is feeling, and of course to make it right with him. And Nathan was about to make it right with her, but the interruption,
What happened? Lucas.
Jesse couldn't get his wagon back because of a downed tree. It blocked the trail. Lee arrived. They were sawing it together. The tree gave way and Lee fell. He hit his head.
Any word on Lee?
No, nothing yet.
Excuse me.
In the back of her mind, she probably thinking, okay, is it Nathan, Lee, or anyone? Like, who is it? Who got hurt? Who died? Lucas knew how important Rosemary and Lee are to Elizabeth's life. It's just a sweet, tender moment from Lucas. Like, the look on his face is just so beautiful. Like, it just shows how much he cares about Elizabeth's friendship with Rosemary and Lee, and he knows that bringing that bad news to Elizabeth will make her really sad, and he was there to support Elizabeth at the same time too, and walking with her to the infirmary and giving her the details of what's going on. That's the end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed this recap of episode 8 of season 7. I feel like pretty short, but a lot of things happen between Nathan and Elizabeth, much more than Lucas, but we'll see if Nathan and Elizabeth get to have that open, honest conversation in the next episode. Like, Nathan really needs to tell her. I mean, Elizabeth deserves to know what's going on with Nathan. Honesty is so important. Strong communication is so important in a friendship, and as well as a romantic relationship. We'll see what happened next episode. Hope you're having a great day. Share your thoughts with me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following along. Thank you for your support. Really appreciate it. Bye.